There's no economic activity that you can think of that doesn't rely on infrastructure in some form. The reason we're looking at this now is that there are a couple of problems that need to be addressed in the global economy. One is that in advanced economies, demand is weak, and as a result, growth is too low and unemployment is too high. In developing economies, the problem is with supply. They have bottlenecks in their infrastructure, inadequate roads and ports, and power outages that act as a brake on how quickly these economies can grow. Our study, which is Chapter 3 of the World Economic Outlook, finds that increased public infrastructure investment can help on both fronts. It can raise output in the short run by boosting demand, and it can also help in the long run by boosting supply or productive capacity. Now is really a good time for an infrastructure push because you have low borrowing costs and weak demand in advanced economies, and you have infrastructure bottlenecks in developing economies that really need to be addressed. An obvious question, though, is can countries afford to do this? Won't it just raise public indebtedness? And what we find in the chapter, quite interestingly, is that the boost that these countries get from doing increased infrastructure investment offsets the rise in debt so that their debt to GDP ratio doesn't increase. In other words, public infrastructure investment can actually pay for itself if it's done correctly. Now, this isn't a blank check for countries to just go out and do any investment they please. Think, for example, of a high-debt country that undertakes projects of dubious value. The end result may simply be higher fiscal risks and higher borrowing costs. And really, for countries like that, you should only consider investing if there's a documented need and projects have sufficiently high returns. Then you also have other countries where the problem is that their investment processes just aren't efficient enough. They choose the wrong projects, or they only get a few cents of infrastructure out of every dollar they invest. And so really the message from those two cautionary examples is that you need to choose the right projects and you need to invest efficiently.